Hello everybody, Flamin' Shark back with another video, and today it's time for episode 26 of Fate Stay Night Unlimited, well, episode 26 of Fate Stay Night. It's episode, I believe, 8 of Unlimited Blade Works. But yeah, awesome stuff, crazy stuff. Last episode was absolutely incredible. It was the longest episode we had done on Unlimited Blade Works up to this point. Crazy stuff with Caster, a lot of awesome stuff all around, really good stuff. And as you can see, jumping into Moonlight February 11th. And yeah, I'm excited to see what we get up to in this episode, and we're starting with an interlude. Oh, you already have my attention. You hit me with an interlude there. It feels like there's been a lot of interludes. It feels like there's been a lot more interludes in UBW than in... Oh my goodness, this is not just an interlude, this is gonna be a freaking interlude with the tall boy. Oh baby, it's priest time. Kotomine Kire, probably. Based on our location, that seems like the likely situation here. But if you want to get my attention for the beginning of an episode, you want to start with a presumably Kire interlude, that will get my attention. The stone room is illuminated by the light of dawn. The light that comes in from the ceiling dilutes the darkness underground. Every entrance and window is sealed off, but even that cannot block the sunlight. Man, I have memories from this place, Jesus. Even this place that should be closed off in the darkness benefits from the break of dawn. What the hell? Okay, now I don't know what's going on anymore. Whether it's an entrance, because that was clearly, I mean, like, some sort of, like, thigh-high stockings or something. Like, what the hell? Whether it's an entrance or window, they were originally created to let things in or out. The cracks cannot be covered, and besides, it cannot fulfill its duty as a passage if it's completely closed off. If one wants to completely avoid the sunlight, there cannot be any entrances from the outset. If one prefers darkness, they should dive underground to the bottom without a way to return. Very symbolic imagery in this description. It's very like, you know, if one truly prefers the darkness, they should embrace it fully. And yeah, I can't get a read. Even if I did get to hear it, I'm not sure I can make a read on the Seiyu here. But obviously, all they're doing is just like grunting. So the outfit is very unfamiliar, though. In that regard, this underground sanctuary is not perfect. The sunlight exposes all secrets without reservation. The hidden sanctuary was easily discovered, and the owner was eliminated just as easily. There are traces of blood on the floor. The original owner of the sanctuary was defeated by an intruder. The supervisor of the Holy Grail War, Kotomine Kire, was removed from the stage by Caster's hand. Holy shit. Holy shit. What is happening? What is... I feel like I keep saying that. What is happening? But I don't think that's Caster. I don't think that's Caster. I guess it's possible. What? Is that Saber? What is happening? That battle was already a few hours ago. The underground regained its silence. The new owner of the church is standing still in the darkness. But the winner scorns herself. Caster glares at the darkness with an irritated look. First of all, she doesn't like this sanctuary. Neither the hidden sanctuary nor the secret sanctuary hidden beneath it suits her taste. The light that comes in is unpleasant, and she didn't like the priest that she finished off earlier either. See, that's the thing, though. Even though we finished off Kotomine, we know that Shinji is a player in this still, as we know, because there's still, you know, this, just because she finished off Kotomine does not mean that the Gilgamesh problem has been solved in this route by any stretch of the imagination. And most of all, the most important objective has not been accomplished yet. She was shocked at how poorly things were going, and she even considered reducing this place to ashes. So I assume this is Saber in, like, some kind of weird dress? Because, I mean, that hair is almost certainly Saber. The skin tone matches as well. And I wonder if this is, like, some sort of cursed or magical object, item that's meant to, like, bind her further to Castor. It's crazy that, like, Saber is just, like, taken by, like, another, I was gonna say servant, but master slash servant in this route. This is so cool, because I feel like this is such a unique situation compared to anything we experienced in Fate, right? Like, I feel like Fate, like, for all that I, like, really, like, so, like, a lot of it, especially near the end, really emotionally resonated with me. What I love about Unlimited Blade Works, especially with it being the second route and not the first, is, like, it's such a... Like, I feel like things are just going off the rails in a way that I don't feel like they necessarily did in Fate. Like, Fate felt like a relatively, like... Obviously, there were big plot twists and stuff in Fate, but it was plot twists like, oh, this is who Saber is and stuff. Like, I feel like this is now taking your experience with the Fate route and just flipping everything on its head, and things are going in just crazy directions that are just so far off from the expectations built up through the Fate route. Even though you expect everything to be different, I feel like they're still using your preconceived notions from the Fate route to further manipulate your expectations. It's really good. Fortunately, she restrained herself from such an atrocity. It's not because she regained her composure, nor is it out of respect towards the church. She suppressed her emotions solely because of this sound. This faint, periodic noise. The painful voice that escapes from the woman is like heavenly music to her ears. Oh, what a sadist. For the time being, she enjoys the spectacle. But yeah, it could also just be that she dressed her up in something pretty, almost as like a, you know, getting back to the whole sadist thing, is like, you're my pet, you're my toy, right? Like, you know, like, I'm gonna dress you in something more fitting to that, your place under my heel, you know, that kind of vibe. I can't wait to get a full look at Saber, though. They're teasing us. The groaning sounds of pain come from a girl. The voice that escapes her mouth is too weak. Her anguish would cause those who listen to feel the desire to protect her, or sadistic feelings on the contrary. Of course, she is the latter, yes, obviously. As I was saying, they even just directly said it. Sweat drips down her forehead. Just from watching her cute lips bearing the pain, the cold room seems to get warmer.
大したものね、セイバー。レイジの縛りを一晩中拒み続けるなんて、私たちでは考えられないわ。
Oh, they're piecing it together. Oh! Cool outfit. I like, it's cool that I could see, like, the stockings, but I kind of want to just see the outfit with her in, like, a more normal pose. I will say this pose is very wild, though, for multiple reasons, but yeah. I don't necessarily get wedding dress vibes from this, but they're definitely, you know, you could definitely, like, frame it in that way. And a little bit of purple, which obviously, you know, of course that would be the accent color, because that does kind of, you know, imply Castor's ownership of Saber here. In the back of the sanctuary, the girl tied from the ceiling can only pant. Tied from the ceiling? In this shot, now I'm even more confused. As long as Saber continues to defy the command spell, she has no free will. Additionally, Magecraft so strong that it is visible tortures her whole body. The command spell pressures her from the inside, and Castor's Magecraft tortures her from the outside. Tortures her. Gotta have some color inversion, of course. Saber's reasoning is disappearing. Even then, the last remnants of her pride are keeping her at bay. Neither the binding of the command spell nor Castor's Magecraft can take away her underlying principles. Therefore, the torture lasts forever. Castor watches that process, the girl desperately holding out with joy. It was Castor's idea to put her in a white dress. Of course it was. Rustic armor is not appealing, and most of all, it does not suit her. If she is an innocent saint, then she should be in a pure white dress when she falls. Jesus, that's... Again, when I talk about symbolism, but, like, it really interesting from Castor's perspective. That's, like, kind of almost recognizing just how, for lack of a better way of putting it, how good of a person Saber is, and almost, like, embracing that in, like, a weird, twisted way as, like, you know, almost like doing things properly for when she finally falls.
けなげなこと。いくらあなたの意志が拒み続けても、サーバントとして作られたその体は別よ。
うん。
霊樹が少しずつ侵食しているのがわかるでしょ。あなたはあと1日も経たずに私のものになる。ならもう降参して素直になった方が楽じゃなくて？
It's interesting framing the idea, like the command spell is slowly infringing your mind. Like that's a really interesting choice of word. I think it's the best way I could put it, it's a very Fate choice of word. Like I feel like in the context of something like this, in most stories, I feel like infringing would be a really weird, strange word choice. But it's a very like, again, it's one of these words that fits very much into just like Nazu's writing style and like what they're going for. So I really like that word choice. But yes, Castor. I'm not gonna lie though, I will say I could just imagine that everything happening here between Castor and Saber, the fan art probably goes crazy of this. And I would say that most of it is a lot more kinky than this. Let's just leave it at that. Jesus. The voice resists painfully. Even though her reasoning is melted, she will not yield to Castor. Just as Castor says, she will put up with the torture until the command spell fully controls her body in the very end. It's a pride thing.
強情ね、セイバー。ええ、けど許してあげる。
うん。
私、
あ
なたみたいな娘は好きよ。金の髪も小さな体も少年のような凛々しさも可愛いわ。それに裏切るぐらいなら死を選ぶ一途さも愛らしい。
I like it. It's very... I mean, I have to agree with Castor on this. Like, it's hard not to like Saber. And, you know, I get it. I get it, Castor.
ほんと、踏み潰してあげたいぐらい。
I had a feeling, though, that was the kind of... Something akin to that was the overall conclusion that Castor was coming to. That, like, someone like Saber is exactly the type of person that Castor is most interested in breaking. In some ways, there's a little bit of a similarity between Castor's fascination with Saber and Gilgamesh's fascination with Saber. Obviously, both, you know, again, I think for Castor, it's more about... you know, Saber's strength and stuff, but in both cases there's a possessive quality to it that we want to control you and own you and we see you as a prize worth taking. She stares at the girl with eyes mixed with hatred and pleasure. If Castor puts her mind to it, she could get Saber to surrender in an instant. Saber's freedom is taken away just from one command spell. Then the result is obvious if she corners her with 2 command spells. Saber will become Castor's without the need for such torture. But she's also having fun. But she will not do such an inelegant thing. Castor should take her time finishing her, since Saber is her lovely tool.
そうね。霊樹で体を支配するなんて退屈ですもの。
Also, I really love the, it's a really simple shot, but I really love how they balance the color here, right? Because you have the background in blue, and then obviously it goes more black and purplish into black as you get closer to the red bindings and, you know, and all that near Saber's arms, and all of this is really accentuated by the white dress. This is, again, it's a very simple background, but it plays perfectly. Like, there's a very, because it draws your eyes towards specific things that they want you to draw your eyes to. It's very simplistic, but it's very effective.
あなたには自分から私のサーバントになってもらいましょう。ええ。体ではなく、先に心を壊してあげる。
I'm not gonna lie, Castor is really fucking based. I love Castor. Oh my god, Castor has been... I'm not shocked about this, but Castor has been a revelation in Unlimited Blade Works. Obviously, she was basically a non-player in Fate, and to see her be practically the... I mean, at this point, so far at least, the primary villain of Unlimited Blade Works has been awesome. She now holds the strongest piece in her own hands. There is nothing threatening her victory. Well, there is Gilgamesh, but besides that, but obviously she's not fully aware. The whereabouts of the Holy Grail is a concern, but that is a matter of time, just as she decided to enjoy the fall of the King of Knights as a reward for her evil scheme. Is this Kazuki? I don't... Suddenly, an emotionless voice calls from behind. Gotta be, right? Because that was, that voice... She turns around immediately. Above the sanctuary, someone slowly makes his way down the stairs that lead outside. It's gotta be. A lean, ghost-like figure appears from the darkness. There are no footsteps nor a presence to be felt. The man comes down into the sanctuary and keeps a straight face even after seeing the bloodstains on the floor and the girl tied from the ceiling. It's crazy. I want to just... This dynamic, too. The Kazuki and Castor dynamic just... Not only does it give me life, but I just need to know more. Castor's attitude changes right away. Her expression changes from irritation and pleasure to that of a tense servant.
なぜここにあなたには竜道寺にいるようお願いしたはずですが。
質問は私が先だ、キャスター。ここで何をしていると聞いたのだが。
Dispatching of Kirei, and I guess now having her fun with Saber. The man, Soichiro Kuzuki's voice does not change. A voice with no inflection is more terrifying than any threat. An emotionless voice is like a mirror, an awareness of one's guilt. This voice is more fearful to those who have greater guilt. She is not being questioned by Kazuki, but by her own self. Castor holds her chest and reports the whole story to Kazuki. He is not someone who can be fooled. No, he is the only one to whom she cannot lie.
昨日、マスターの一人であるエミヤシローからサーバントを奪いました。エミヤシローは逃しましたが、すでにマスターではありません。賢明な人間ならば、私たちに歯向かうことはないでしょう。
Spoiler alert, Emiya is not smart.
そうか。だがそんな指示を下してはいない。
私の独断です、マスター。その後、聖杯の器を手に入れるために教会を襲いました。聖杯の管理役である神父は仕留めましたが、聖杯の行方は不明です。
Well, I mean, we already kind of have an idea based on the fate route. I'll just leave it at that.
そちらも独断か。帰還しなかったのは聖杯が見つからなかったからだな。確かにせっかく手に入れた場所だ。肝心のものを手に入れないまま留守にしては意味がない。
You'd be surprised, but it's actually a lot harder to... It's harder to robotically read dialogue than you think, right? Like, actually trying to perform a character like Soichiro is actually really interesting, and something that, obviously, this Seiyu does really well, but it's really interesting nonetheless. Kazuki's words are not blaming her, but Castor only felt ashamed of herself. She killed the priest who knew the whereabouts of the Holy Grail, but she has yet to obtain it. On top of that, her arbitrary decisions that she needed to keep secret were revealed. What else can she call this other than a failure?
状況は分かった。理由を説明できるか、キャスター。
Castor.
申し訳ありません。 ですがこれも全てマスターのため。私の目的はあなたを勝利させることだけです。理由などそれ以外にはありません。
Oh, you're definitely enjoying yourself. There's definitely a personal pleasure that you're deriving from this, especially the saber-related parts of this. A long silence. After hearing Castor's strong declaration, Soichiro Kozuki simply murmurs, "Naruhodo."
ではここから離れるわけにはいかんな。留守中、他のマスターに聖杯を見つけられては、お前の苦労も無駄になる。
ではマスター、
納得のいくまで調べるがいい。それまでは私もここに残ろう。お前一人では戦いに向かん。セーバーが手駒になるまで護衛は必要だろう。
いえ、それには及びません。マスターに力を借りずとも手駒はありますし、聖杯の探索とてどれほどかかるか。それにここは危険です。竜道寺に戻られた方があなたの身は安全です。
The way her personality shifts in the presence of Kazuki is so interesting, right? Because it's like, as much as it was assumed it was just like a meme or like a thing, you know, like a cover story, it does genuinely seem like she potentially does truly love him, which is such an interesting wrinkle in all this.
正論だ。だがそれでは私の目的が果たせなくなる。
Those words were unexpected for Castor. He did not have an objective. What kind of objective can this man have when he has no interest in the Holy Grail that can grant any wish?
宗一郎様、それは。
急げよ。なければないでいい。成果は問わん。結果だけを出すがいい。
Fair enough. He tells her simply and goes back up the stairs. Castor watches him dumbfounded. The darkness is still silent. The footsteps heading above ground cannot be heard. Interesting, and that's going to be the end of the interlude, yep. Wow, what a way to start day 12. And now, it's not light out yet, though, so an early awakening for Shiro here. I open my eyes. My eyes are not the only thing that wake up, as my sleeping mind wakes up as well.
傷は問題ないな。
Oh, man. Dude, every time I hear wound in Japanese, it's like, makes me think of a certain wound story that I have reacted to back in the day. I checked the wound on my left shoulder. It still hurts, but there's no intense pain like last night. The heat in my body has gone down as well. It shouldn't be a problem for me to move around. I eat breakfast and fill my empty stomach. You're not even going to tell me what's up with breakfast? What the hell? Food comes before anything. My body won't move how I want it to unless it gets the nutrition it needs. That tells you just how serious everything is in the story at this point. We're not even talking about what we're eating for breakfast. I reapply the bandage on my left shoulder. My exposed skin and wound have turned dark blue. My wound hasn't healed up, and I can see dark red skin peeking through.
当然だ。今セイバーはいないんだから。
Yeah, you don't have that super healing factor anymore. I disinfect for my peace of mind, put gauze over it, and wrap bandages around it. Wrapping bandages and constricting the wound is the most primitive first aid treatment, but I have to do this or my wound would expand just by moving my left arm.
よし、これで終わり。あとは武器がいるな。
The sky is cloudy. It must be really cold today as there's still frost left in the yard. But this has nothing to do with me. I don't feel any cold. My body is so hot I want to pour ice water over my head. Even then, my body is in much better condition compared to yesterday. These bamboo swords are the only things that I could use as weapons after all. I choose the one that seems like it could pass magical energy through it the best and wrap it in my bag. I wonder I wonder how I'd be very curious about the process in which he determines that he believes that a certain bamboo sword can pass magical energy through it better than the others. Like, I'd be very curious about what that process entails. Then I slapped my cheeks. I don't know if it was to psych myself up or if I was preparing myself, preparing to never come back here. I don't know why I did it myself. I sling the bag over my right shoulder and head outside. The place where I've spent many years. I didn't even look back at the shed that could be considered my own room. Well, even though I decided to fight, there are still plenty of problems. I wonder if we're about to make a choice. I have to make clear what I need to prioritize and what I need to do, or else it'll end without me being able to do anything. There are two paths to take. Oh, here we go. Well, I have to imagine go to church for advice is a death blow. I have to imagine this is a game over, but I'm very tempted to choose it. I am going to, like I said, though, I do generally, for the most part, try to play this game to win. So we're going to meet up with Tosaka. She told me to withdraw now. If I'm going to refuse and fight, I need to let her know that I won't withdraw on my own and that we're still cooperating. And there is that. Yep. I can't let her fight by herself. I owe her big time. It's crazy how he's just now, like, realizing what happened in the prologue, or at the end of the prologue. I can't step down until I repay her for that. I mean, technically it happens. Technically it happens twice, because it's the end of the prologue, and then you replay those days as Shiro instead of Rin, but you know what I mean. I adjust the bag on my shoulder. I'm aware that I won't be of much help and that she will object. But I can't obtain peace of mind until I see Tosaka's face. This is hypothetical, but if she gets hurt without me knowing, I can't even be there to help her. Fair enough. I was about to say, we waited a little while on that transition. And of course we're here in this infamous park. The scene of the crime, so to speak. Not a recent crime, but one from the past. I sit down on a bench and rest my burning body. It's past noon. I've searched all around Shinto, but I haven't found anything. I knew that I had no way to find Tosaka from the start. I tested my luck and looked around town, but I couldn't find her or even traces of her. You're seen as just, a regular person now, basically. I take a deep breath and lean back on the backrest. I won't get anywhere like this. Tosaka isn't naive enough to show her tail, and my last resort to use myself as decoy to lure other masters is failing so far. I get a bit uneasy. I can't find Tosaka and can't save Saber. They might already be in an irreparable situation by the time I find them. Yeah, no need to give up that quickly. I stand up from the bench. I ignore my left shoulder that starts heating up again and leave the park. I'll search one more time from the start. There's no doubt that she's in Shinto. It's the same as last night. I don't know why, but I can instinctively feel that he is around here. Ah, the connection to Archer. It's not as uncertain as a premonition, but close to conviction. Interesting. Alright. So he's confident that, is this gonna be a Archer Rin interlude now? God, they are cooking with these interludes. I love it. This is not even Shiro's story anymore. I love it. Okay. When did I figure out the truth of that dream? A desert as far as I can see? And this is also interesting interlude because this is in first person, which implies that despite being an interlude, this is still potentially a Shiro interlude. The infinite swords stuck in the ground do not have a wielder. The sky is stormy and there is no forest or town or ocean in the far horizon. The hill is swords that continues endlessly. Such a cool shot, by the way. A graveyard of steel that has no use or owner. I realized from the start, that was the scenery inside that hero's mind. Interesting. So I think we did something like this in the Fate route, but we're actually talking about like how it works to, yeah, how like this whole, how basically like death works in the Fate universe, and specifically the context of how it works for people that are determined to become heroic spirits. So this will be really interesting, though, to discuss this. After a sequence of many events, one who becomes a heroic spirit ends up in that place. There are those who left this world loved by many people, and those who left this world being praised as noble kings. Saber? There are those who died in battle wishing to fight, and those who pass on after leading a long, fulfilling life. However, there seem to be many who are praised against their will. If true heroes are those who legitimately earn their title, then these are different heroes. They should be called Avenger, the anti-hero that ended up in that place because of their reversed fate. Interesting. Those who are in the opposite position as heroes, yet worshipped as heroes as a result. Even those who are treated as heroic spirits who both hate and are hated by humans are used as guardians. That's true. But he is in a gray area. Yeah, now it's going to flip to Archer. Yep. He's not a true hero, nor a rare Avenger. His efforts were unrewarded and his life ended in betrayal, but he never hated humans until the very end. But that too wore away. Yes, he must have gotten worn out. I was mistaken. Heroic spirits, familiars called servants, positioned as guardians, the counterforce of humanity. They are summoned to various ages and prevent the destruction of the world. But the only condition they have is destruction caused by humans. Destruction caused by nature and external factors are not solved by the counterforce of humanity, but by that of the world. That is why the only thing that heroic spirits who become guardians see is self-destruction. Yep. If the world, if there's a giant typhoon or hurricane, whatever, that, rages through Japan, the heroic spirits aren't going to show up because that's just, nature's bidding. But if we are destroying ourselves, that's where you get the heroic spirits. It's ironic because the Holy Grail War is a game, yet simultaneously is a perfect example of our own self-destruction. It's almost like a mockery from the gods, in a sense, right? Because it's our own self-destruction while we seek out that we cannot attain, which is what the representation of the Holy Grail is. An existence only to eliminate destruction created from human desires, exactly. He made a contract with the world to save humans and became a hero. Interesting shot. In return, he became a guardian after his death and was shown humanity's self-destruction over and over again. He was summoned as a heroic spirit to save people, yet he has been forced to clean up after people's misconduct. It did not take long for him to start thinking that was in vain, and he couldn't help despising the human world. And in the end, even after he died, he kept on getting betrayed by the ideal that he protected. Yeah, he's like Shiro. The difference is he's been beaten down time and time again. Rin Tosaka wakes up, being called up upon suddenly. She slowly looks around. This is the foreigner's cemetery. It's only past 7 p.m., but it is deserted. Well, the hill where the church stands is always deserted.
ごめん、寝てた。少し疲れてるみたい。
無理もない。
昨夜から不眠だったからな。体調が優れないのならば見合わすか。何も今すぐ仕掛けることはない。
いいえ、時間はかけられない。キャスターの居場所が分かったんならここで決着をつけるべきよ。
The church, theoretically. Rin declares and notices that her body is warm. Must be because her familiar Archer had protected her from the cold with his cloak.
なんだ、寝てるって気がついてたんじゃないあなた。なのに起こさないなんて人が悪いわね。
Bro's probably gonna say, I needed you fully rested for the battle ahead.
何？立ったまま眠る人間にはそうお目にかかれないのでね。
Or that.
ますますたちが悪い。女の子の寝顔を見るなんて何様よあんた。
安心したまえ。誓ってそのような無礼はしていない。
Wow.
だが別のものは聞いたな。目は閉じようと思えば閉じられるが、耳はそうはいかないのでな。
Well, she was either snoring or she said something in her sleep, but either way, very, awkward.
そう。私何か言ってたあーちゃん。
ああ、気に食わないだの、頭にくるだの。実に物騒なささやきを数件。
That sounds exactly like what Rin would mutter when she's, sleeping.
なんだ、よかった。
Rin sighs with relief. The dream that she just saw cannot be discussed. Yeah, I bet. She can't have Archer know about it. She likes their relationship. In order to maintain that, she must hide the fact that she knows Archer's past.
行きましょうあーちゃん。教会なら少しは詳しいわ。あそこならどこに隠れているか見当ぐらいつく。
I mean, you say that, Rin, but you don't know... How much do you know, right? Like, just because you're getting these dreams, and, like, obviously you understand a lot of it, it doesn't mean you know the full story. She presses away Archer's cloak and stand up, although they might be hiding some of what she knows from us, the viewer, because we haven't revealed Archer's, true name yet. Archer protects her back silently. Then...
ねえあーちゃん。自分のやってきたことを後悔したことってある？
She asks without turning around.
私はできれば最後までしたくない。本当に打ちのめされた時にも歯を食いしばって意地を張り続けたい。
Not only is that really in character for Rin, from everything we've seen from the Fate route and up to this point of UBW, I feel like she has never regretted her decisions, regardless of what path we've taken. So I feel like she's lived up to that in every timeline that we've witnessed so far.
けどそれって難しいんでしょうね。きっと私が考えている以上に。
個人差があるな、その手の精神論は。
It's actually a very simple but very realistic answer, right? Because some people, yeah, I mean, like, willpower and, like you said, idealism varies a lot depending on the person.
できる者もいればできない者もいる。とりわけ君は前者だ。その手の人間はまず過ちなど起こさないし、自らの過ちなど考えることもない。
何よ、それじゃあ私が傍若無人な暴君みたいじゃない。
Not that far off.
いい自己認識だ、リン。
Got her.
鮮やかな人間というものは人より眩しいものを言う。
Interesting.
そういった手合いにはな、歯を食いしばる時などないのだ。で、試験だが、君は間違いなくその手合いだ。遠坂凛は最後まであっさりと自分の道を信じられる。
Like I said, based on everything we've witnessed up to this point, and even if you just want to, if you want to just include this timeline as far as it goes, you know, just ignore like Fate and stuff and just look at what's happened in Unlimited Blade Works, I feel like that absolutely is the case. The Knight in the Red Cloak says, as if singing. Rin blushes at his answer and asks her main question to him without looking back.
じゃああなたは最後まで自分が正しいって信じられる？
いや申し訳ないが、その質問は無意味だな。
どうしてよ。答えられないことじゃないでしょ、こんなの。
Her voice is slightly nervous. To that,
最後までという質問が無意味だ。 忘れたのかマスター。私の最後はとうの昔に終わっている。
He's long since dead. The Red Knight answers in a dry voice. Damn, that's a crazy line, and now we transition back to Shiro. That's... Oh my god, that's crazy, but they are cooking right now. And is it also going to be nighttime for us? Yes, it is. Interesting. Which that doesn't mean anything. This still could be a long episode, long day, because I don't really want to do 2 days again after last time. But I also am, like I said, I am very down for this to be a shorter episode. Like, I'm really just trying to hit like 2 hours on this one after the last one was so long. So, yeah. I sigh and lean against a sign. I searched around until the sun set, and the only thing I found out was how useless I am. So far, nothing's happening, but I do assume things are going to happen on this night. The wound on my left shoulder is aching. I don't know if it's because my bandage is getting loose or if the wound itself opened up. Anyway, I can't waste any more time. If I can't find a certain lead, then it'll end up just like last night.
あいつどこに行ってるんだ本当。
I recall when I parted ways with her last night. It's been a day already since she told me exactly what was on her mind, like how I can't fight without Saber or how I should escape to the church.
そうだ教会。
But I think it was the right decision not to go to the church right away. Because obviously, yeah, the church... Yeah, it wouldn't have ended well at the beginning, because we would have theoretically got cooked by Kazuki and or Caster. There is a lead. I thought about it when I went out to town this morning. The supervisor of the Holy Grail War, the priest at the church on the hill, should know about Tosaka's whereabouts.
あいつの手を借りるのは尺に触るけど、襟好みしてる場合じゃない。
Yeah, well, I don't think you're gonna have to worry about that. No, whether I like him or not, I shouldn't go see that priest. He says he's a priest, but there's something unsettling about him that tells me Kotomine Kirei is a man that fundamentally shouldn't be approached. Honestly, you're not wrong. I don't want to have to ask for his advice if possible, but he's the only one I can rely on.
一度だけだ。それなら問題ないだろう。
Fair enough. I tell myself and move my aching body. It's 7 p.m., yep, same time as the interlude that we just had with Archer and Rin. I walk to the train station for 20 minutes. The church stands in the suburbs away from the noisy town. It's been 9 days since I last went up this hill. Isn't that crazy? How time flies, how much progress we're making through Unlimited Blade Works. However, considering the fact that I had never come here prior to that, I'm coming here quite often now. To be honest, I don't like that church. Maybe more than Kotomine Kirei, that church itself is forbidden territory that should not be approached. The fire 10 years ago? It's because the church, which looked after the children that became orphans, forces me to recall that incident from 10 years ago. I finish going up the hill and go out into the open grounds. Uh-oh. Ugh. I suddenly get a headache. It's not because of my left shoulder's wound. The wound is causing me to have a fever, but it shouldn't give me this stabbing headache. My temple hurts. I lose myself and feel a chill as if my body is going to split in half like a shedding insect.
おかしいぞこれ。
I fight through my headache and start running. The cause is the hunch I have had since yesterday. The unknown feeling that Tosaka is in Shinto. That has expanded to the max and is causing this headache. Then, there is no doubt that something is going on in there. Oh boy, here we go! There's blood. I see yeah, I was gonna say I noticed it even before, before the text gave it away. Blood on the floor, right in the aisleway. There are blood stains on the floor. The traces of blood sporadically continue up to the door at the back of the church.
違う。奥に続いてるっていうより、奥から外に出たって感じだ。
Whose blood, though? It bothers me, but now is not the time for that. Bloodstains mean that someone is hurt. And this much, too. Their life must be in danger. I assume this is going to be Tosaka. I feel a sharp pain in my head. A dull heaviness settles into my body. I ignore them as I take out my bamboo sword and start walking quietly.
遠坂いるのか
Yeah, no sign of blood here. Nobody replies. The air is tense. I feel like all the windows in the church would shatter if I raised my voice. Oh man, this is tense. Oh man. I follow the traces of blood. The bloodstains are in the crevices of the building. It continues to the dark staircase that you would miss if you didn't know about it.
地下へ続く階段ここ地下室があったんだ
This is a church, so could it be a mausoleum? You're not that far off, honestly. I can't afford to be leisurely pondering right now. I exercise utmost caution and step into the darkness. Yep, he entered into the unknown. I descend in the darkness. There is a dim light at the end of the stairs. I hold my breath and move forward, using only the light below as a guide. Oh boy, here we go. Blue screen. Interesting. The narrow corridor ends, and I come out to an open space. It is a spacious stone chamber. Yeah, we know. The stairs along the wall stretch down to the sanctuary. There, stairs lead to an open space that seems like the sanctuary. And there is the one I had been looking for. Tosaka Rin. Rin Tosaka. Tosaka is confronting the enemy in front of her, with Archer protecting her. In front of her, in front of the altar, are two silhouettes. Yep. Doesn't even have to be said. Yeah, no surprise there, like I said. Kuzuki and Caster. The mage in the purple robe, Caster, and her master, Kuzuki. On the altar behind them, Saber. Gotta be. Yep. There is Saber, who is looking down and panting painfully. Quiet. You don't... I feel like he's about to just go, Saber! Or he's about to say something stupid. My heart skips a beat. My pulse is clearly beating at a much faster rate. The situation is obvious. The two pairs of master and servant are confronting each other in the sanctuary about 5 meters below me. It didn't look like any of them were bleeding, though, so where'd the blood... whose blood was that? I wonder if it was... Could it possibly been Saber's? From, like, beforehand? Or it could have been Kirei's, I suppose. They haven't noticed me hiding overhead, as they're too preoccupied. Tosaka and Caster are both thinking ahead, looking for an opening to attack. To look up in a situation like this would not be allowed. My heart beats even faster. My headache is constant, and I feel an intense pain in my shoulder as if it's been seared by a hot iron. I can't keep my presence hidden forever in this state. Caster or Kusuki, if one of them looks up even just a bit, they'll notice me hiding. Oh god. So... the way he's framing it in his head, the right move is probably to actually be reckless. But if it kills us, it kills us. I'm just gonna go with my gut instinct, even if it's not the gut instinct of. I'm just gonna trust my gut. I hold my breath. I push my body against the wall and watch while keeping myself hidden. It's still too early. It's too reckless to attack when I don't yet have a grasp on what kind of situation it is. More importantly, I don't have much at hand. The only weapon I have is this strengthened bamboo sword. It's too reckless to confront Caster with only this weapon and without a plan. No, that's wrong. I do have another weapon.
バカな。それこそ何を考えている
Can't use projection. Half of my body got numb just by using it once. Archer said so too, that it'll end up worse if I use it again. Magecraft beyond one's capabilities destroys the user first. If I use projection magecraft in this state, it's only natural that I die on the spot.
機会は必ず来る今は
I just have to suppress my body that wants to run out and prepare for that chance.
そう。なら、キレイは殺したわけ。
That does seem to be the case. There's only intent to kill in her tense voice. Yeah, you're gonna get to... You see, this is gonna be an interesting perspective for us as the player, as well as Shiro himself, because we're gonna get to see more Rin Tosaka the mage, as opposed to Rin Tosaka the friend. Tosaka is glaring at the enemy in front of her with a coldness I've never seen before. Yep.
始末したわ。素直に聖杯を差し出す人間でもなさそうでしたからね。後々になって邪魔をされても困るもの。
I don't know whether you necessarily had the right read on him or not, but it's still interesting. On the other hand, Castor is composed, as she always is, or almost always. The witch declares loudly that she has killed him herself. A gritting sound echoes through the sanctuary. That man was more like the devil than a saint to me, but to Tosaka, that priest was a fellow senior apprentice, and like a pseudo father figure almost, for better or worse. And he was killed. Even if he was involved and prepared as a mage, it's not something she can take in so easily.
そう。それは結構。綺麗もそれぐらいは覚悟していたでしょう。けどキャスター、一つ聞くけど、あいつの死体は確認した？
What? I don't know if she was suppressing her anger or if I was mistaken and she had held no anger from the start. Well, again, she's this is Rin the mage, not Rin the friend. Tosaka questions as if it doesn't concern her, and Castor dodges her question, completely changing.
何を言い出すかと思えば、そのようなこと、あなたには関係ないでしょ？
Interesting.
ええ、全くないわ。けど他人事でもない。あいつが本当に死んだんなら安心できるから確認しただけよ。
Damn.
それはどういう意味かしら、お嬢さん。
Ojo-san. I love the way she says shit like that.
言葉通りの意味よ、キャスター。あいつがそう簡単に死ぬ玉かっての。もしはっきりと死体を確認していないんじゃ、まず間違いなく生きているって思っただけ。
Sure, I definitely get where she's coming from, having my own run-ins with Kotomine in another life.
使えないわね、あなたも。どうせ綺麗を襲うなら、しっかりきっかり息の根を止めておけっていうのよ。
Damn, Rin, that's crazy. Oh, I love her.
まあいいわ。やることもできたし、早めに済ませましょう、キャスター。今回は人質もいないし、気持ちよく戦えるわ。
Here we go. A signal to start. Tosaka or Castor. If either of them steps forward, the sanctuary will immediately be covered in flames of magecraft.
大きく出たわね。あなた、この状況で私たちに勝てるつもりなのかしら？
やりようによってはね。幸いセイバーの制御もまだのようだし、条件は同じでしょ？
More or less, in theory.
それに、久月先生のことも分かってる。セイバーは面食らってたけど、事前に知っていれば私のアーチャーの敵じゃないわ。
Tosaka gestures towards Archer while staring at Castor.
聞いての通りよ、アーチャー。キャスターの相手は私がする。下手に近づくと、あんたまで契約破りを食らいかねないから。
Yep.
私の相手はあの男か。
This is a weird matchup, right? Because in theory, Archer outclasses Kazuki and Castor outclasses Rin. So this is a weird matchup all around.
それは構わないが、魔術師では
Yeah,
キャスター
exactly.
にはかなわないと分かっているのか、リン。
安心して、勝ち目もないことは言い出さないわ。
But I believe Rin when she says that
キャス
too.
ターは必ずここで倒す。そうすれば、セイバーだって元に戻って、シロと契約をし直せるでしょ？
Tosaka gets ready to fight. I feel a sense of urgency like a wild animal about to attack its prey. As if to stop that.
理想論だな。彼女をここで倒すというのは難しい。逃げるだけならば、彼女は東大一だ。何しろ、逃亡のために、実の弟すらやつ先にするのは。
What? Archer nonchalantly steps in between Tosaka and Castor. I'm gonna need more information on that.
アーチャー、ちょっと何のつもりよ。
Does he know who Castor is? He does not answer Tosaka. The Red Knight confronts Castor silently, just like last time. Yep, that was a crazy scene. That was a wild moment. That scenery. I think I remember seeing it somewhere.
実の弟すら八つ咲きにしたですって。知ったような口を聞くのね、アーチャー。あなたには私の正体が分かっていて。
Huh.
竜の葉をよりしろとした人型はコルキス王の魔術と聞く。
Humanoid spirits bound to dragon fangs were King Colchis? Magecraft? I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't even know what. I have no idea who that is. But all of that sentence is cool. I just am not familiar.
その娘、王女メディアは希代の魔女と歌われたそうだが。
Princess Media, huh? The air freezes. Well, we might know who you are. Castor's composure disappears and enmity like fire is directed at Archer.
そう。なら、この場はどちらが優勢かわかるでしょ?
Interesting. Archer does not answer. His expression is stony, as if he is accepting everything that is happening, as if there is no good or evil. Kind of the way he approaches a lot of
抵抗は
things.
無駄よ、アーチャー。あなたが何者だろうと、セイバーを取り戻すことはできない。今はまだ私に逆らう意志が残ってるけど、
If anything,
それもあと一日持つかどうか。
if anything, it's a miracle it's lasted this long, if we're being honest.
それに、霊樹さえ使ってしまえば、今すぐにだって私の人形にしてしまえるわ。
And she always has that in her back pocket if she gets desperate, of course. I strain to keep myself from getting up. Not yet. Even if that's true, I need to endure. If I want to save Saber, I can't jump out now.
たとえレイジを使われてもセイバーなら耐えられるわ。それが1分か2分かは知らないけど、それだけあれば十分にあなたを仕留められるんじゃない？
That's crazy that she genuinely believes that. Castor and Tosaka glare at each other, using Archer as the fulcrum. Standing in between them.
不可能だな。ここでお前を切り伏せようが、せいぜいその半身を立つ程度。その後に待つのは、セイバーとキャスターを同時に敵に回すという劣勢だけだろう。
Yep. Yes, he defied his own master's expectations.
あーちゃん、それは。
分かっているはずだ、リン。さすがにそうなっては勝ち目がない。
I mean, he could try, I guess in theory, he could try to kill Saber.
セイバーは不完全なマスターのために能力を制限されていた。その縛りがなくなった以上、彼女は最強のサーバントだ。太刀打ちできるのはバーサーカーのみだろうよ。
Yep. He speaks in a matter-of-fact manner. I love how, like, Berserker has just been so kind of in the background in this one. Same with Ilya, too. It's really interesting in this route. Tosaka stares at Archer, stunned. Even Castor is puzzled by her sensible enemy. But not me. I've experienced something similar like this before.
まさか、あいつ。
A bad feeling occupies my thoughts. I actually have no idea what Shiro's thinking right now. That time at the temple, when he was confronting Castor and she told him to join her, how did he turn her down?
やめろ。
I mutter without realizing. Don't do it. It's not because the situation will get worse. You're Tosaka's partner, so don't do it. If that happens, I don't know what kind of expression she'll make. Aww! Archer steps forward. He is only empty-handed. He steps forward without any enmity or intent to kill and...
恨むなよ、小僧。こうなっては、こうする以外に道はなかろう。
Jesus. He looks and smiles at me as if he noticed I was peeking. Oh! Oh, that's crazy.
さてキャスター、一つ尋ねるが、
Yep.
お前の許容量にまだ空きはあるのだろうな。
That is crazy!
アーチャー、あんた
Holy fuck. Yeah. That's an appropriate laugh. That's crazy. Yep. Yep. Caster laughs like it's the funniest thing she's heard, and Archer's back is like steel. At that, Tosaka doesn't look away. It should be fine for her to break down at a time like this, but she tries her best to act strong and clenches her teeth. That's just the type of person she is.
当然よ。一人と言わず、すべてのサーバントを扱えるだけの貯蔵はあるわ。私の魔力がどこから補充されているかは知っているでしょ?
Magical energy that allows her to sustain 7 servants. That is the life being pumped from the people of this town.
ならば話は早い。以前の話、受けることにするよ、キャスター。
Yep! He holds out his hand to Caster in assent. This is What is happening? I don't know how many times I have to say this. This route is so freaking crazy and unpredictable and awesome. I thought I was going to break down. I can't forgive him for betraying Tosaka and for approving of Caster and joining her. Not necessarily the same things, but a hero. Even if the hero that saved many people and embodies my ideals is a man like that.
あの時は断ったのに。随分と腰が軽いのね、あなたは。
状況が変わった。セイバーがそちらについたのなら、今回の聖杯戦争の勝機はお前にある。勝てる方につくのは当然の行為だろう。
Archer walks to Caster, defenseless. That means he's leaving Tosaka. Tosaka doesn't stop him and stares at the enemy in front of her on full alert. I recognize her appearance. The red classroom. She tried to hide her shaking legs and continued to be Rin Tosaka, even with the collapsed students in front of her. That is her strength and weakness. She always tries to act brave in any situation, so those around her get the wrong idea that she's a strong person. Yep.
さあ、契約破りを使ってくれ。リンにはまだ霊樹が残っているからな。
That's
早くしなければ
crazy.
お前に襲いかかってしまうぞ。
His banter doesn't change. He betrayed Tosaka in front of her, and yet he's still acting like before. She must have felt wariness towards the opponent. Caster takes out that oddly shaped dagger, but does not try to stab Archer with it.
どうした？労せずして忠実な部下が手に入るのだ。何をためらう必要がある？
Because she's suspicious, because this is a little too easy, isn't it?
どうかしら。私は裏切り者を信用しない。あなたの言葉が正しいのなら、コマはセイバーだけでいいのではなくて。
Yeah, she's no dummy. Caster is smart. I mean, Archer is the type that plays games too.
裏切り者を信用しないか。確かに。私はお前をも裏切るかもしれん。私は私のためにお前に下るのだからな。お前を主と認めたわけではない。だが、
霊樹とは裏切り者を罰するためにあるでしょ?
Sure.
いいわ。あなた一人を御し得ないようでは、私の器も知れるというもの。元よりあなたの宝具には興味があったことだし。
That's all it took to convince her, yeah.
待ってあげましょう。
It's also was kind of a bit of stroking her ego, and she obviously has a big, fat, hard ego that I would love to stroke. Trust me. Hopefully it's not as pointy as her dagger, but I would definitely stroke Castor's big fat hard ego. A lot. Profusely. Castor raises her arm. The dagger in her hand that breaks contracts is thrust at Archer's chest in a single line. And it happened. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say, dude. Dude, this story is so good. And I'm like, I'm on the edge of my seat every episode now. Like, it's so good. And that's honestly been the case for most of this, but like, holy shit, this is good. Tosaka grimaces. It must be a reaction to having the contract broken by force. But this isn't the time to be hesitating over something like that. This has become the worst possible situation. Tosaka slightly retreats, still staring at them. Tosaka is calm. She understands that it would do no good to fight them now. If she wants to keep on fighting, she has to retreat for now. This is crazy. But there are 6 meters between Tosaka and the stairs. I can't believe I'm saying this. Is there any chance that we're the opening for Tosaka? Is there any chance that we are about to give our lives up for Tosaka to escape? And is there any chance that, like, at some point Tosaka is gonna, like, Saber somehow breaks it and we get, like, Saber and Rin? Like, actually? Like, there's no, I'm gonna say no, but, like, I'm not gonna lie. This situation is really set up for, like, us to give our lives so Tosaka can get away. Is it possible for her to run that distance all at once? It's impossible. It's obvious looking from above. Kazuki, who has been silent up to now, focuses his attention towards Tosaka. If she turns around and sprints full speed, would she be able to reach the stairs and get to the exit while dodging Kazuki? Tosaka snorts, still staring at them. Her face... Oh! Of course that's impossible. Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of people that aren't stupid, Rin is very smart, and she's absolutely calculated exactly how hopeless her situation is. Seems to be muttering that sarcastically. She'll die. Unless we could somehow, like, save Saber here. She'll be killed like this. Yes, people do in fact die when they are killed. If I try to help her, I also won't be able to go back. The area just a few steps below me is a land of death. The master called Kazuki and 2 enemy servants. There's no way I'd get out of there alive. Oh my god, if it's about to give me a choice, I'm gonna lose my mind. My throat is dry. My fingers are frozen from nervousness. It's all or nothing. Even before I can think, yeah, they're not even giving me a choice. Tosaka moves. She runs towards the stairs at the speed of an arrow without any warning. Behind her, the slim figure's shadow catches up to her at a speed that makes Tosaka look stagnant. Kazuki's fist will most likely hit the back of Tosaka's head. He's the one who hurt Saber through her armor. It would be easy for him to crush a human skull. I can't save her. I can't help her by myself. I can't save her just with this bamboo sword. I'll die if I go out. 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 There's no world. Now, this is one where, obviously, I'm emotionally tied to this because Rin's my favorite character, but also, there is no world in which Emi Ishiro does anything else but go out here. Yep. I jump down. I don't even bother using the stairs. I jump down right behind Tosaka from a height of 5 meters without knowing it. But that's it. My bamboo sword is crushed by Kazuki's fist that tried to hit the back of Tosaka's head. Everyone opens their eyes wide in astonishment at the intruder. Except for one enemy who reacts as if it's natural. Yeah, of course, because he always knew that was gonna happen. But of course, yeah, because he was the one person that did in fact notice our presence. There is no hesitation. It does not matter for this man who the opponent is. There are no emotions towards Emi Yashiro, who appeared out of nowhere. The Grim Reaper's nail is thrust. There's no way to avoid it. My neck will break like a stem. How unsightly. It's meaningless if I won't even last 2 seconds. Just like this, I won't be able to do anything. Not even help Tosaka. No. I've had a way out from the start. I can prepare numerous things to block the attack. If I am a mage, then it is not my body that does battle. It is none other than my magecraft creations.
Torres. On.
Yep. Then make it. Success is a matter of course. Reconstruction doesn't start from the basic framework. Danger. Read the origin itself from its concept and the creator's thoughts, expectations, morals, and faith. Danger. That is why it is not reconstruction, but projection. It is an equal shadow cast by the true object. And shadow, yin and yang, and their twin swords. It's very clever. Danger. It does not matter how great the work is. If something has been accomplished once, there should be no problem recreating it. That's true. If it's been done once, that means it can be done, which means it can be done again. Rampage. Oh. Oh. Oh! There is another problem. Yes, the problem is the body cannot keep up with the function. My body is burning. Every cell in me ignites. My nerves let out agonizing cries. My retinas crack and dry up, and my heartbeat disappears. I ignore my body's order to stop. I omit the process of the idea of creation, the basic framework, the quality of the composition materials, the technique necessary for creating, the experience of being dependent on, the accumulated years in one breath, and create Konshu and Bakuya. Konsho, sorry. My whole body burns. To use projection right now would mean to die. Shiro Emiya's body cannot bear such an abnormal use of magecraft. That looks so cool. My head ignores that and gets ahead of itself, and therefore, my body will perish. But there's no way that can be a problem. No, it can't be. I'll die if I create a sword? No way! This body is a magic circuit specialized for that purpose alone. I've been helped by swords and have lived with swords. Yep, I love how this is like a play on the Fate route and the reveals of the Fate route. Oh, this is so good, because in a way, he almost is a sword. Therefore, I don't know about others, but there's no way I would self-destruct over something like creating a sword. Woo! Project Archer's Twin Swords. Projected Archer's Twin Swords. Nice. I love how it's... unfortunately, I love how that achievement didn't have any cool name. It was literally just... Yeah, we projected the twin swords. I repel it. The weapons in my hands are the same, and the enemy I'm confronting is the same. It's cool, too, that, like I said, that was something we didn't have, obviously, in the first route, because this was before the remaster. We have achievements, which is kind of cool. Konsho and Bakuya are in my hands. The reproduced archer's noble phantasm repels Kazuki's fist once again. It stopped. Kazuki must have figured out that it would turn out the same as last time as he slightly distances himself. My lung explodes. The breath I've been holding bursts out of my mouth. I can't feel my left shoulder. My wound is completely opened up, and the blood stains not only my bandage, but my clothes as well. It's not from the damage of projection. 2 blows. My left arm is destroyed just from repelling Kazuki's fist twice. If I received one more blow, I bet a strange scene would unfold where my shoulder bone dislocated and my arm flew off, even though I got punched by a fist. Oh, this is so hype. Holy shit. I can't possibly reveal my internal conditions. I protect Tosaka's back while readying my swords. But Tosaka?
バカしろあんた、なんだってこんなところに来てんのよ
Has stopped and is verbally attacking me. You need to get out of here, girl. You need to get the fuck out of here. Because right now, as noble and heroic as this is, and yes, those were very specific choices of words, you need to get out the fuck out of here for this to mean something. I'm relieved. My choice wasn't wrong. I'm glad that her kindness that's hard to understand isn't gone. No, now's not the time for that. It's too early to tell if my choice was right or not exactly. We have to get out of here unwounded.
悪い。文句は後だ、トサカ。一息つけたらちゃんと聞くから。今はあいつらを何とかしよう。
Tosaka nods without a word and gets ready for battle. This is crazy.
まさか飛び降りるとは思わなかった。
Kazuki is watching us with his fists ready to fight. He has no intention of letting us go. We are glaring at each other so that we don't let each other go. If either Tosaka or I move, he should react right away. But I can't be leisurely standing by. The wound on my shoulder is getting worse by the second. I'm losing concentration as I lose more blood. My body wasn't going to last long to start with. If we're going to run away, we have to run away as soon as possible. But we can't run away that easily. If I move, Kazuki will obviously react. If he does, Tosaka will be the first one to be killed. And we're not even getting into the fact that, yeah, Caster and Archer are also players here. I need to defeat Kazuki to let Tosaka get away, but I don't have the power to defeat Kazuki, and Kazuki isn't the only enemy. Yeah, that's the bigger problem, is there's two other enemies behind Kazuki. Yeah, behind Kazuki is Caster and the traitor Archer. Well, worst comes to worst, Saber might also become our enemy. Yeah, that's the real bad situation. Was there no exit to start with? And that goes back to the whole conversation at the beginning of this episode at the first interlude about darkness. There's no miracle and sunlight, and you see the light shining through moonlight, I guess, in this case. There's no miracle where we can escape this devastating situation. I would want Tosaka to escape at the very least, but even that would require so much luck that it makes me disgusted.
そこまでのようね。あなたの乱入には驚いたけど、結果は変わらないわ。ええ、その顔では諦めもついたようだし。出てきたということは、殺されてもいいということよね、坊や。
坊や？
ここでおしまいにしてあげるわ。生かしておいても面倒でしょうし、ここでまとめて。
I know this is out of time, but this is a weird time to do this, but I will say, yeah, no, we haven't actually gotten a true name yet, but it does seem like it was, what, Princess Madia or whatever? Again, not familiar at all. I guess we'll find out specifics of that at some point, but it seemed like we got really close to finding out Caster's true name, and we might, you know, we seem to be nearing that reveal. She's coming. I can only resist with all my might at this point, so I stand in front of Tosaka, putting strength into the twin swords. An intent to kill is released. Right before that reaches us. Oh, the Red Knight takes a hold of the atmosphere in an emotionless voice.
はあ、じゃあ、この場での発言権がないことぐらい
Wow.
読み取ってると思ったけど。
Wow. He's still Archer.
言い忘れていたことがあった。お前の軍門に下るには一つだけ条件をつけたい。
条件ですって？
ああ、無抵抗でお前に自由を差し出したのだ。
Yeah.
その代償として、この場では奴らを見逃して。
Yeah, and this is where he reveals that this... Yeah.
どのみちマスターとしては機能しない者たちだ。殺す価値はないだろう。
Yep, 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 yep. A suggestion as though it doesn't concern him, but yeah. Rin's gonna see through that bullshit. Tosaka gazes at him intently.
見逃せですって言動の割には甘いのね、あなた。
Yep.
私とて人の子だ。さすがに裏切った瞬間に主を殺したでは後味が悪い。
Fair enough. Even though it's a little more than that, you genuinely wanted to protect her, and you realized that this was your only move.
裏切り者のくせによく本人の前で人並みのことを言えたものね。いいわ。今回は見逃してあげましょう。けれど次に目障りな真似をしたら誰が止めようと殺します。
And I think that's very reasonable from Castor. Like, I feel like she's well within her right to be like, yeah, I'm gonna kill them if they do something stupid again, but I'll acquiesce your request in this instance. So, like, I feel like that's a very reasonable take from Castor.
それでいいかしら？あちゃ。
And even asking, like, are you good with that?
当然だ。この状況でなお戦いを挑むような愚か者ならば手早く死んだ方がいい。
Yeah, that makes sense. That must have concluded the negotiation. The killing intent that filled the sanctuary fades, and the tension to not let us go disappears.
そういうことよ、お二人さん。今回は見逃してあげるわ。さあ、敗者は敗者らしく逃げるように立ち去りなさい。
I mean, we do kind of look like giant fucking losers right now, I'm not gonna lie. I glare at Castor, but Tosaka silently pulls my arm.
行きましょう。今はあいつの言う通りよ。
Yeah. She whispers in my ear. I calm my breathing and turn my back to the enemy in front of me. We slowly walk to the stairs without even running. The distance that seems so great is covered in just a few steps. Yeah, because at this point, it's like, yeah, if they want to kill you, they could. So there's no point in running. You might as well just leave. A footstep. Tosaka puts a foot on the stairs and looks back at Castor once. No, that's not it. She's looking back at Archer. The one she looked back at was not Castor, but that man smiling beside our enemy.
恨むのなら筋違いだぞ、リン。
Oh, he's so good! He's so good! He really is, I think, still my second favorite character. As goated as Kirei is, Castor is cooking, though, I will say. I love Castor. Oh my god, do I love Castor. Obviously Saber. I have a complicated love, but love nonetheless for Shiro. But I think when it comes down to it, I still feel like Archer is probably my second favorite character, which is kind of where I stood from the start, really, with Rin and Archer. And I feel like I'm still standing there, even though, again, love Saber. Castor's incredible. I mean, Castor might be my second or third. Like, she's top. I think she's a top 3 servant at this point with Archer and Saber. Like, I think she has to be. You know, Gilgamesh is an absolute asshole, but he is like the base kind of like just what a absolute dickhead in like a cool character kind of way. But we haven't gotten too much of him yet, so you know, I think there's still potential for him to rise in the future. Who knows what they're doing with him in this route? Like I said, there's still that whole thing with Shinji and Gilgamesh that's just like lurking in the background.
マスターとしてこの女の方が優れていただけの話だ。
Sure.
優劣が明確ならば、私は強い方を取る。
そうね。けど後悔するわよ。私は絶対に降りない。
Yeah, I don't think that was your intention, Archer. Even though nothing you're saying is wrong.
いい。キャスターを倒してあんたを取り戻す。その時になって謝っても許さないんだから。
Based. I love Rin.
それは無駄骨だな。まあ、自殺するというのなら止めはしないが。
God, I love them. I love the dynamic between Archer and Rin. It's got to be the best. I feel like it's the best dynamic in the series, and that's despite like the incredible dynamic that Saber and Shiro have, also the dynamic that Rin and Shiro have. I still think Archer and Rin is the best dynamic in Fate Stay Night. It is so good. Although I will say, low-key, I still need more, but Kazuki and Castor's dynamic is super freaking interesting. I'm not gonna lie. She turns away and starts walking. Looking at her side profile, she's biting her lip vexingly. Yet she doesn't speed up and leaves the underground sanctuary with confident steps and without looking back. Holy shit, we made it out. We get out of the church. We didn't exchange words at all from the underground sanctuary to here. Oh. It's gotta be, so it's gonna be, what it's gonna actually be is it's gonna be Archer, Master Caster, Saber, Master Caster, you know, Rider, not quite, but Caster, Master Suichi, and then Assassin, Master Caster. 3 of the servants are mastered by another servant. Yeah, so Kazuki's is Caster's master, and Caster is now Saber, Archer, and Assassin's master. And then obviously we still have Ilya and Berserker. That's still out there in this route. You know, Rider bit the dust, and Lancer, I don't even know what's going on with Lancer. He might be Gonzo Alonzo too if, you know, Kirei's Gonzo Alonzo, which, again, basically leaves us with, yeah, Caster has the servants, and then there's Ilya Berserker. This is kind of the wild card here. Is Ilya Berserker is a wild card, and obviously Shinji is a wild card with Gilgamesh. But it's that's it. I mean, really, in a way, like, at this stage in the game, it's basically down to Caster, Berserker, and then the Golden Archer, because Caster has control of most of the servants. And then obviously Rider's dead. So really interesting stuff. You know, we still didn't actually get the true name, though, on Caster's. That's interesting. My wound hurts. The sweat that's formed on my forehead drips down into my eyes, and my vision becomes cloudy. Even just walking hurts my wound, too. My shoulder hurts every time I take a step, and my strides are getting shorter before I realize it.
Emiya-kun?
She looks back at me as I am falling behind. Then, Tosaka suddenly looks at me with a straight face.
少し休みましょう。シロ、歩くのも辛いでしょう。
Yeah, bro's been through a lot.
いや、大丈夫だ。このぐらいなら我慢できる。それより今は早く戻った方がいい。
Either my place or her place. It doesn't matter which one, but for now I should get Tosaka back to her home ground as soon as possible.
こっちの傷は気にするな。別に毒が塗り込まれたわけでもないんだから。
I ignore Tosaka's stare and start walking. Yeah, bro's literally about to collapse, isn't he? Ugh, how pitiful. My knee's about to snap just as I say that.
ほら、
Yeah.
もう無茶するんだから。その傷でクズキとやり合うなんて自殺行為よ。いいから休みなさい。あいつら、私たちを追いかけたりはしてこないわ。
God, she's so good, dude. The seiyuu for Rin is so good. Such a good voice actress. Oh my god.
だろうな。
There's a lot of really good ones in this VN,
少しでも早
but
く家に戻ろう。俺ならそう辛くはない。
あんたね、そんなに血が出てて辛くないなって言わないでよ。なんで家に戻りたがるか知らないけど、今は休む方が先でしょ。
She yells at me. Yeah, she's not quite back to her normal self yet. She's lacking her usual calmness. I mean, makes sense. She's going through a lot herself. She's an emotional person to start with, so I'm sure her anger will be unstoppable if her brakes give way.
ちょっと聞いてるの？綺麗じゃあるまいし、そんなに血の跡をつけて歩かれても迷惑なのよ。
Yeah. And then there's that. There is Kirei. And if Kirei is still alive, then... Which she did heavily... She is suspicious Kirei's alive, which also means Lancer's still in play. So there's still a lot going on in this route. This route might end up being longer than the Fate route. I kind of just assumed all 3 routes would be about the same length, but it's fully possible this route's just a fair bit longer.
大体どうしてこんなことになってるわけ？ そりゃ教会に行けって言ったのは私だけど、すぐにヤバいってわからなかったの？
な、バカにすんな。それぐらい分かったぞ。のっぴきならない事態になってるって、教会を見た時から気づいてた。
Sure.
ならすぐ帰りなさいバカ。それだけじゃない。傷も治ってないのに乱入してきて、おまけにまた投影。そんなの傷が悪化するのは当然じゃない。だって言うのに辛くはないですって。ああ、もうどうかしてる。なんだってそんな無茶するのよ、あんたは。
Girl out here with her shark teeth looking like Taiga Sensei. Tosaka goes off intensely. No, but it really isn't that painful.
だ
Besides...
って、遠坂の方が辛いだろう。だから戻ろう。家に帰れば弱音を吐いてもいいんだから。
That's actually really sweet. Yeah, that's why I wanted to get home as soon as possible. There's no need to act that strong. Tosaka can complain without constraint when she's back in her room at home. Aww. Oh my god! Oh my god, she's actually gonna cry! Oh my god! Oh my god, that's gonna make me cry. Oh my god, I would, oh, whoa. Oh shit, she's trying to hold it back because it's Tosaka, but oh, my girl! My queen! She wipes her face as if she messed up and turns away. I can't think of what to say. That was...
信じらんない。男の子に任された。
Damn. She murmurs while looking down. Then...
父さんって、俺の手握ってるぞ、お前。
Oh my god, you're embarrassed ass. Just accept it. Yep.
責任取れ、バカ。
Yeah. I mean, after all, we fell in love with Saber in the first route. It only makes sense. This is the other thing that's been in the back of my mind this whole time, is like, it's been interesting how we, if anything, we've been less close to Rin over the course of this route, but the way things have played out, but I think like this experience is so interesting, like both Emiya and now Tosaka losing their servants. Like, this is crazy. Like, the two biggest like players in the game are not in the game right now. This is like, I don't even know what to say. Like, what is happening? It's so interesting, but obviously in a way they're kind of alone together now so that they can find peace and comfort in one another in the absence of Saber and Archer.
傷が痛む。よりにもよって左手を引っ張るな。
Probably feels like you deserve a little pain right now. She can be a bit of a sadist herself. This place was a foreigner's cemetery from some time ago. Interesting that that's where I assume Rin took us. Once Tosaka walks down to the grassy area, she finally lets go of my hand.
あのな、遠坂。今はこんな寄り道をしてる場合じゃ。
No.
座って。いいから座って。
This was a very intentional choice, and there's a reason that she visited here before we went to the church to confront Castor as well. And that scene with Archer, that interlude that we got earlier in this episode. Her intensity doesn't let me object, so I sit down for now.
で、後ろを向いて、絶対に振り返らないこと。私の顔を見たら本当に怒るから。
Yes, ma'am. I hear a sound behind me. We sit down back to back on the grass. I can't grasp what meaning there is to this. Tosaka's silent now, and she told me not to turn around. There's nothing to do, so I look up at the night sky for now. Let's see it. Yep, there it is. That crescent moon, just a little under half full. I gasp at how vast it is. Is it because we were underground for a long time, or is it just because the starry sky is clear tonight? Either way, the winter night sky is so beautiful that it makes me forget my pain. Man, I love looking at the night sky. It's something that I don't think I do enough, but I'm, you know, I think I've mentioned it here and there on the channel, but I have a real passion for really all things related to astronomy, but I just think like space is so cool, and Even just as simple as looking at the night sky, even without like a telescope, just straight up, just looking. Especially if you don't live somewhere that's like super, you know, like if you live somewhere, anywhere that's even remotely rural, like if you live somewhere that isn't just completely like a huge city or something, a lot of nights you can get a really nice sky, even if you're not in like a rural area where it's the best, obviously. I don't mind Tosaka's body heat that I feel through my back either. I gaze blankly at the dark sky, forgetting everything for now. How long have we been sitting like this? The person next to me talks to me in a calm voice. Oh! Oh!
独り言なんだけど。
Oh! Oh! This is oh, what a CG. What a cool CG that I have never seen. This was not in the Fate route. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, back to back. There's something so cool about this. Back to back, the starry sky up above. The only way this will get, like... I see. I can't reply if she's just talking to herself. I'll keep watching the stars in silence. Maybe you could find the summer triangle.
少し
Although it is winter, to be fair, so maybe not. I just remembered, yeah, this story takes place in the winter.
あーちゃんの言う通り、最初のうちに手段を選ばずキャスターを倒しておけばよかった。ちょっとの犠牲を気にして機会を計ってたけど、結局このままだと街中の人が犠牲になるでしょ。
She keeps talking. This must be her whining. She's not confessing because of what I said earlier. In short, Tosaka didn't want to reflect on her actions by herself, but wanted someone else to do it. I don't know. It like it froze for a second there.
私、いつも一番大事なことばっかりしくじるのよ。2番か3番か、そういうのはさらっとできるくせに、一番大事なものだけは手こずるんだ。
Well, it's a good thing you don't have to do this alone. The winter sky is clear, but on the other hand, the temperature is freezing cold. I don't care about myself, but isn't Tosaka cold without a jacket? I'm a little worried about that.
アーチャーがあっち側に行ったのも、あいつだけの責任じゃないわ。結局、キャスターを野放しにしたのは私だもの。
Yeah.
けど、参ったな。ついさっきあんなこと言ったのに、いきなり追い詰められちゃった。
Sure. She sighs deeply. I can't see it, but her breath must be white. I don't know, it's something about, dude. I love the lighting on this shot. I love the stars up above. I don't know why. I even love the way that she has her arms wrapped around her legs and then like her hands clasped together. Like, I don't know. I love obviously the little bit of blood, of course, on Shiro. Like, it just, oh, I love this shot. This is a contender for my favorite shot of the game.
ちょっと、ここ何にって突っ込むところだと思うんだけど。
ああ、で、何に追い詰められたんだ、遠坂。
うん。後悔はしたくないってこと。
Emphasizing her clasped hands.
あいつは私はそういう性格じゃないって言ってたけど、今が正念場みたい。シローがあんなこと言うから余計失敗したなって落ち込んじゃった。
I see. I don't really get what she's talking about, but what Archer said is correct. Tosaka is not the type to regret anything.
そんなの今だけだろ。尺に触るけど、俺もアーチャーの意見には同感だ。
Yep.
遠坂は何も反省することなんてない。
I don't think he'd want you to regret anything. Archer, that is.
どうしてよ。現にキャスターはやりたい放題で、アーチャーにまで愛想をつかされた。これ、私が方針を間違えたからでしょ？
それは単に失敗しただけだろ。遠坂は間違えてなんかない。 間違えていないなら失敗しても胸を張れると思う。
There you go, bro. Fucking cook, Shiro. Oh my god. Yeah, things didn't work out, but that doesn't mean you were wrong. This is so crazy. This is so crazy. This feels what's crazy is this feels like the end of the route. I mean, it very obviously isn't. Clearly not. In fact, if anything, we're not even close, but wow, this is wild. In the process, if you walk down the path that you believe is right, you can't be wrong. Most people would realize that the path they chose itself was wrong, but she's different. Any path that she chooses should be something she is proud of. Oh! Oh! My god, this is so good.
そうだな。正直、俺にはお前が眩しい。
Yep.
俺も後悔はしない。自分のやってきたことが正しいって信じてる。けど、それは継ぎはぎだらけだ。
Sure. I won't regret anything. I want to make the tragedies that happened into meaningful things by believing that the path I took is correct.
でも、お前は違うだろ。後悔はしたらしたで、きっとその倍は仕返しをするタイプだ。俺は継ぎはぎでなんとかごまかしてるけど、お前は平気な顔で粉々にしちまうんだ。
It's just the type of person she is.
採算は取れてる。たまにしか落ち込まないだろうけど、大阪はその後が怖い。お前を落ち込まされると何倍もお前に落ち込まされると思う。
And that's what makes Rin, not only is it what makes Rin based as fuck, but it's what makes Rin the GOAT. She's the fucking goddess. Like, what else can you say? Like, that's why we love her also, why we all love her so much, because you know I love her, but trust me, let's not lie. We know, I know that all of you love her too. It's freaking Tosaka Rin, come on. Aww.
何それ、追い打ち？
Maybe in a sense, but not in the sense that I think you're thinking. Yeah.
鬼がかく乱してるうちに言っておこうと思って。
Nice!
でもまあ、事実なんじゃないか？父さがこのままで済ます気はないんだろ？
Yep. As long as you're not giving up, you know that bro isn't giving up either. And I mean, Shiro, you know, because of Saber, he wouldn't give up regardless, but... I also say as if I'm talking to myself while looking up at the sky. Tosaka doesn't answer, but somehow I feel like she smiled, as though she pulled herself together. Can I see that? I know that Shiro doesn't get to know, but I really wish that I would get to know. And silence follows. Tosaka must have said everything she wanted to say as she goes silent again. I aimlessly look up at the night sky. We should be going home, but neither of us can stand up, so we just keep our backs together.
そういえば、どうして私を助けたの、シロ？
I can't explain. There are many reasons. I feel like it's silly to explain each one. And not all of them are about you, but I think more about you than he would even care to fully admit to himself. That's how I feel, so I decided to tell her what I need to tell her most. Oh my god, 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 oh my god.
見覚えあるだろう。
Ah! I show her the pendant. That's what I thought. I bet she tried to hide it, but she made a mistake again.
それ、どうして？
遠坂の部屋で見つけた。あ、帰ったらびっくりするだろうけど、すまん。化粧台倒しちまった。
Yeah, bro was kind of fucked up at the time. I returned the pendant to Sosaka from behind her.
で、それがどうしたっていうのよ、あなたは。
Yeah, it was familiar.
いや、これと同じペンダント、俺の家にもあるんだ。学校でランサーに殺されかけた時、気がついたら近くに落ちてたんで、拾ってそのまま。
I innocuously hint about that night. Then...
そっちにも同じものがある？
Tosaka gasps as if she saw something she shouldn't have seen.
あれ？なんかおかしなこと言ったか？俺。
別に。それより、 どうしてそれが私を助けた理由になるのよ。別にいいじゃない、そんなペンダントなんて。
そうだな。本当はただの後付けだ。
It's what it represents.
削除すると、ずっと前から遠坂凛ってやつに憧れて。
Yep, that's something we're well aware of from the very beginning of the story, regardless of route.
で、困ったことにいざ話してみたら余計好きになっちまった。
Yep.
だから死んでほしくなくて、気がつけば何も考えずに飛び降りていただけだ。
Yep.
あんたね、そういう歯に衣着せぬ発言はやめなさい。考えなしに思ったことを口にしてると、どこかしらで誤解を招くんだから。
You're under several incorrect assumptions here, Tosaka. First of all, he's giving you the right idea, and second of all, he definitely thought before he spoke.
招くか、そんなの。
Exactly.
俺、本当に遠坂のことを好きだぞ。
I become obstinate and immediately reply. It's not a lie. There's no misunderstanding to be had.
バカ、そんなだから自殺同然で飛び込んでくるのよ。この大バカ。
Oh, and I love it. She's going full tsundere with the voice work. It's so good. Tosaka repeatedly calls me an idiot. Yep, of course. She's criticizing me mercilessly, but it doesn't make me feel bad at all. Yeah, because you're thankful that you have the opportunity to be criticized mercilessly by Tosaka in this moment. Because that's something that probably wouldn't be the case if you didn't make that jump. The night sky is beautiful, and I feel calm. Most of all, I'm really happy that Tosaka is back to her usual self. Oh, we're done with the shot. Oh, that CG was so good.
ほら、手を出して。その傷だと立つのも辛いでしょ。
Yep, and a good excuse to hold hands as well. I grab her hand with my right hand. Tosaka lets out an energetic sound and pulls me up.
これで貸し借りはなしね。今日のことはお互いノーカウントってことにしましょう。
Fair enough. Yeah, that helps. I don't know what that pendant meant to Tosaka. Bet I would feel more indebted to Tosaka if I found out. Tosaka didn't want that and said the incidents offset each other. Sure. That's why Tosaka shouldn't feel indebted about being helped earlier either. We leave the foreigner's cemetery. On the way back, quietly.
助けてくれてありがとう、シロ。すごく助かったわ。
Tosaka adds with embarrassment. Of course, no problem, girl. We go down the hill. When we're about to go back to our home ground where we can be at ease, Tosaka heads for my place instead of hers as if it's natural. Aww. We're back at my place. I never thought we would make it back alive, so the tension in my shoulders relaxes as soon as I get in the living room. I feel a bit dizzy and lean against the wall.
ほら見なさい。
Yeah.
やっぱりまともに立ってられないじゃない。バカ。
Yeah, bro is definitely struggling a little bit, to say the least. Tosaka is right, but I think that last part was unnecessary. How many times did she call me an idiot today? I bet she set a new record today.
ほら、こっちに来なさい。とりあえず包帯ぐらい変えないとまずいでしょ。
Sounds good to me. I nod at her stare that won't let me say otherwise and go to Tosaka.
この救急箱を使っていいんでしょ。さすが家に道場があるだけのことはあるわね。
Sure.
ハサミばかりか、針と糸が入ってる救急箱ってのも珍しいわ。ってほら早く服を脱いで傷を見せなさいってば。
服脱ぐのか。いや、その前に手当てぐらい自分でできる。今朝だって自分でやったんだから問題ない。
Oh, poor guy. Embarrassed as shit. Yep.
何遠慮してるか知らないけど、そもそもその傷の手当てをしたのは誰だと思ってるの？
Yeah, there is that.
けどあの時は
I was unconscious, so I was only causing an inconvenience to Tosaka.
あの時もこの時もないの。いいから早くしなさい。 シローの傷は特別なんだから、ちゃんと見ないと治るものも治らなくなるじゃない。
Fair enough. How unfair. I can't complain if she tells me with a face like that.
それじゃあ頼んだ。正直に言うと、さっきからやけに熱くなってる。
I give up and sit down. Seeing that my clothes are stained with blood, Tosaka gives up taking it off and starts cutting it right away. She then quickly but carefully takes off the bandages. It must have been bad as Tosaka slightly gasps. But I'm troubled as well. It's so embarrassing having her stare at my body so closely.
本当に無茶するんだから。せっかく治りかけてたのがまた開いてるわよ。
Yeah, unfortunately that is the situation we find ourselves in.
まったく。こんなの見せられたら怒るに怒れないじゃない。
That's funny. She talks abusively yet gently touches my wound. Damn, I'm getting dizzy for a different reason, of course. I was calm even when we were that close earlier, but now my heart is unstable and I don't know where to look. I mutter inside and hit my boiled head, but it does no good. The temperature inside my head will keep on going up if we stay like this.
遠坂、もういいだろ。血止めをして可能止め塗って、包帯を巻き直してくれればいいから。
そういうのは手当てって言わない。宣言撤回、やっぱり頭にきた。そんな気休めで外に出たわけね、あんたは。
Wow. A slapping sound. What was that for? Tosaka slapped me on my wound without mercy, based.
何の恨みがあるんだ、お前。
In a way. In a manner of speaking.
恨みなら骨髄まで染み渡っているっていうの。
Aw.
それでも手加減してあげたんだから感謝しなさい。
This is amazing. Saying that, she takes out something that looks like homemade ointment.
今の痛かったでしょ。とりあえず壊死してる神経を治したからしばらくは痛むわよ。これには痛み止めも含まれてるけど、もともと破損した肉の代わりだから。
Interesting.
馴染むまでは痛むけど、痛みがあるうちは無茶しちゃダメだからね。
Sure. She applies the jelly-like substance on my wound. It looks really suspicious, but Tosaka is treating me seriously.
はい、これで終わり。あとは包帯を巻いてぐっすり寝れば、明日には幾分楽になってるはずよ。
Hmm. She skillfully wraps the bandages around my wound, around the wound. I'm not praising her, but her wrapping is much better than mine. Wow.
サンキュー、遠坂。なんか楽になった。
As one might expect in this particular situation. I thank her, trying not to make eye contact.
まあ、それならいいけど、楽になったって言うんなら見た甲斐があったわ。
治らないものと覚悟してたから余計助かった。ともかく手当てをしてくれてありがとう。
Of course.
そんなの当たり前でしょ。私が見る以上はきっかり直してみせるんだから。
Finishing the treatment, Tosaka stands up. Then, I don't know why, but she heads straight to the kitchen.
遠坂？
Am I seeing things? She's checking inside the refrigerator and the rice cooker.
おい、何をするつもりなんだ。
She's gonna make dinner for us. A little late, but yeah.
シロ食べてないでしょ。私も食べてないのよ。だからとりあえず夕食。
Yeah, it only makes sense.
それは見ればわかる。けど、どうしてこの状況で夕飯なんだ？
Because you guys need to eat. As someone who, admittedly made the mistake of starting this video hungry, and I'm very hungry now, but I will definitely eat once we're done.
なんでって当然じゃない。人間空腹でまともな案が浮かぶわけないでしょ。
Sure. And Tosaka declares while glaring at the inside of the refrigerator. The sounds of clashing tableware echoes. It's past 10 p.m. I don't know how it ended up like this, but I'm eating a late dinner with Tosaka in the living room. By the way, the dinner was made by both of us. Princess Tosaka wanted to eat Japanese cuisine, but she didn't even know how to make miso soup. It really makes me worried what our school is teaching the girls in cooking class. That's actually kind of funny. Tosaka focuses on her meal. She must be hungry as her bowl is almost empty. But I don't have much of an appetite right now. It's partly because this isn't the time to be eating, but more so because I haven't said it yet.
シローはここで降りなさい。
I haven't expressed my thoughts to Tosaka, who told me that as she left.
父さんが話がある。
I put my chopsticks down and look at Tosaka.
何？
あれから考えたんだ。俺がこの戦いを始めた理由を。
Serious
一
conversation
体何
here.
がしたかったのかってことを。
Hmm.
うん。それで？
She urges me as she sips on her miso soup. It puts my spirit down, but I put strength in my abdomen, refusing to lose.
初めは巻き込まれたからだった。そしてマスターになった以上はこの戦いをどうにかしたかった。
Sure.
けどマスターになったとか巻き込まれたとか
Yeah.
そんなのは関係がない。
It's not what this is really about. And he came to a similar realization in the Fate route as well.
俺は正義の味方が好きなんだ。だからみんなを守らないと。マスターなんてどうでもいい。マスターでなくなっても、セイバーがいなくなっても、戦うことには変わりはない。
I said, ready for Tosaka's rebuttal. But Tosaka
そう。
gives an absent-minded answer and finishes the food in her bowl.
あのな、遠坂。人が真面目に話してるんだから、ちゃんと。
You say that, but in a way, it is actually quite childish, really. And that's something you've accepted.
シローは一人でも戦うのよね。死ぬような目に遭うより、死ぬような目に遭ってしまう人がいるっていう事実が耐えられない。だから、どんなに自分が弱くても戦うことに決めたんでしょ？
Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. She looks straight at me. It's as if she sees through a part of me that even I don't know about with integrity and improves of me fighting. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where she's not running away. She's like taking a realistic look at who you are. I mean, at this point, what else can the two of you do but genuinely look at who the other is and understand exactly what they're thinking at this point?
そうだけど。
Like I said, if anything, a barrier has kind of come down between Rin and Shiro over the fact that both of them have lost their respective servants.
何よその顔。リスが砂糖菓子舐めたような顔して。
いや、だって、遠坂は反対するかと思ってた。
してるわよ、もちろん。
Yeah.
けど、あれだけ見事に助けられたんだから、シロに文句なんて言えないでしょ。
She already made her objection clear a while ago, and obviously that didn't change your mind. I mean, what else can she really do other than accept your point of view here, and also the fact that she's not going to give up either, despite being in a similar situation to you.
それにさ、どんなに止めたって、
exactly.
あんたはそういうやつなんだって分かっちゃったし。
It's not even really worth trying to stop him at this point. Tosaka averts her gaze a bit. I don't know why, but anyway.
じゃあ、遠坂、これからも協力体制ってことでいいんだな。
まあね、仕方ないから付き合ってあげる。だいたいあんたみたいなのを一人にしてたら、不安で眠れないし、それに。
She takes a deep breath. After getting ready for some reason.
シロー風に言えば、私もシローのこと嫌いじゃないし。
I don't hate you. We have officially gotten a love confession from Tosaka. That genuinely might as well be marry me right now or take me right now. Like I don't hate you is the equivalent of like let's spend every lifetime together.
私はそういうわけだし、そっちだって一緒にいても問題ないでしょ、実際。
Wait, what, really though? Wait, that second line is actually even crazier. Like, I don't know if you don't realize what you're potentially agreeing to, Shiro. She might literally like have a collar on you in like 5 minutes. Tosaka hands me her bowl, and yeah, also feed the woman. How long did it take for me to realize that she's asking for seconds?
ああ、もちろん。遠坂
Yes!
の要望でも 望むところだ。
Bro's like, yes, you could be as much, you could boss me around as much as you want. This is what I've been waiting for my whole life. I take the bowl, open the rice cooker, swing the rice paddle, and hand it back to her with an extra portion.
いいけど、お腹減ってるし、ご飯美味しいし。
Quickest way to a man or a woman's heart. Tosaka starts eating the mountain of rice. I let out a smile. I bet I'm eating with a really happy expression. Well, it's good too, because it probably got you to actually eat a little more yourself. But I can't put my smile away, even if I'm aware. I'm so happy right now, so let me smile like a fool for a while. Is that gonna be the end of the episode? Oh, no, we're still going. Well, now we're drinking tea together after dinner.
つまり投影には投影なりの限度ってものがあるわけ。
Of course.
一見イメージを形にするっていう何でもありに見えるけど、投影にはいろいろと独自のルールがある。
Sure.
その制約の中で一番わかりやすいのは投影物の損傷、存在における強度ってやつよ。
The strength of its existence. Tosaka puts up a finger while she drinks her tea.
存在における強度。何？幻想なるものの存在に耐えられない軽さってやつ？
Sure. I sip on my green tea and tilt my head in response.
何も知らないようでいてつまんない言葉知ってるのね、あなた。けどまあ、当たらずとも遠からずかな。
You're gonna have to explain a little more in depth here, Rin.
投影は自己のイメージからそれに沿った本物を完璧に複製する。これに例外はないわ。自分の中で完璧でなければ投影はできない。新作の影である以上、一部の隙も許されないのが投影魔術よ。
Which obviously is tied to his own, his own existence as a, for lack of a better term, not even for lack of a better term, but just his own existence as essentially a sheath.
だから基本的に投影によって生み出されたものは自己のイメージ通りの強度を持つわ。幻想という点においてはこの時点で完璧なのよ。加えて投影する術者のイメージ、知識が本物に近ければ近いほど現実においても完璧になるわけ。
That's awesome.
ちょっと待った。それはおかしい。俺、アーチャーの剣を投影しただろ？けど、それはクズキに壊された。いくらクズキの拳にキャスターの強化がかかってるからって宝具を壊せるほどじゃない。
You're assuming that that's a noble phantasm.
ってことは俺が投影したアーチャーの干渉と爆矢はオリジナルに数段劣るってことじゃないのか？
はい、いいところに気がつきました、エミヤ君。それが投影の限界、存在における
The
強度って
strength
や
of
つ
its
よ。
existence, going back to that, okay.
いい？投影はあくまで投影、想像じゃない。投影を作り上げるのは術者のイメージだけだから、イメージそのものにほころびが生じたとき、本物と同じ性能であろうと無産するの。
イメージにほころびが生じる？それも変じゃないか。イメージが間違っていたらそもそも投影はできないんだろ？
If I had to guess, I'm assuming she's referring to the idea of it, right? Like, you have to truly believe that you're creating the full-blown noble phantasm in all its strength and glory for it to be as strong, right? So, like, in this particular case, it's like you're making an exact copy, but you're still thinking of it as a copy, which is why it works.
ええ。だからほころびが生じるのは投影した後になるわ。
Interesting.
そうね。例えばシローが絶対に折れない名剣を投影したとするでしょ。
I nod. Tosaka nods in satisfaction.
けど絶対に折れない剣なんてものはない。その剣の表現方法、伝承、売り文句などに絶対に折れないというパーソナリティがあるだけで、実際はそれを上回る幻想にぶつかれば刃こぼれぐらいするし、折れることだってある。
That's really interesting.
それ、折れた時点で俺のイメージが間違っていたってことにならないか？俺は折れない剣を作ったんだから。
ならない。投影が成功した時点で形の上での間違いはないんだし、 そもそも折れない剣なんて名前みたいなものでしょ。
Sure.
実際に折れない剣なんてないんだから。けどシロ、あなたがイメージしたものは絶対に折れない剣よね。これが現実で折れちゃった場合、投影されたものは嘘になるのよ。
Yep.
それは剣が折れたからじゃないわ。あなたがイメージしたものは折れない剣。
Sure. Because won't and never aren't the same
それ
thing.
が折れてしまった時点で、シロの中の折れない剣と今折れてしまった剣は別物になる。
That's actually really trippy.
あなたと現実、その計りが崩れて
It's
しまうか
because
ら。
the scale between you and reality tips. Real. I like the way oh man, I love the way that Nazu describes just the absolute esoteric bullshit that is everything basically in this universe. So to sum it up,
よし。つまり、俺は折れない剣を想像して投影した。けど、実際に投影した剣は戦闘中に折れてしまった。その時点で、俺自身がその剣を、なんだよ、実際は折れちまうじゃないか、この剣と否定してしまって、結果として投影したものは消えるってことか。
you have to believe in the projection as much as it has to believe in you,
そ
in
の
a sense.
イメージの相互によって。
Yep.
冴えてるじゃない。ええ、つまりはそういうこと。
Aw, that's a genuine compliment.
あなたはアーチャーの剣を投影した。あなたの中であれがどんな位置づけだったかは知らないけど、シロ自身はクズキの攻撃で壊れるような剣をイメージしてはいなかった。けど実際に剣は破壊されてしまった。その時点であなたはその剣をこんなのはアーチャーの剣じゃないと思ってしまった
And
の
the
よ。
second you believe they weren't archer's swords, they were that was the flaw.
で、作り上げられた投影は術者の否定によって存在強度を失い、
Sure.
元の空想に戻ったってわけ。
I see. Even projected weapons can break, but it's not the enemy that makes the projected weapon disappear, but yourself. When the difference between your image and reality becomes too big to amend, the projected weapon disappears. Most of all, it is because the one who created it stopped believing in that illusion. Yep, you have to... Perception is reality. This is a classic case of that.
わかった？だから投影魔術はまず設計図から入るの。あとは材質と性質、歴史なんかも考慮すべきね。そのあたりから固めていけば、多少現実でイメージと違ってもすぐに消えるなんてことはないでしょ？
It's very procedural magecraft. The more you know, it's boosted and strengthened by your prep time and your study time.
それなら、なぜそれを作る気になったのかってのが最初じゃないか？材料と技法だけじゃダメだ。今日の夕飯だって、まず遠坂が和風が食べたいって言ったから始まっただろ？なら、創作する上での発端から始めないと。
Interesting. Oh, Tosaka is stunned. Tosaka stares at me. I sip my tea and tilt my head in wonder.
まあ、なんでこんな話になったんだっけ？
そういえばそうよね。私たち確か今後の作戦を話し合ってたような。
Yeah, that's right. As we were talking about what we should do moving forward,
シ
Tosaka
ロ、本格的に投影魔術をやってみない？
said an irresponsible thing like that.
思い出した。不確定な要素に希望を持っちゃうぐらい行き詰まってたんだっけ？
Yeah. In other words, you guys have no fucking plan.
まあ、そうだな。第一、俺の投影なんて剣を作れる程度だ。それも、今まで役に立ったことなんてないんだから、
It's
大した戦
cool.
力にならないだろう。
It's badass, but I don't know how helpful it is in this particular situation. Oh, she's looking at me with weird eyes again. I wonder why she makes that expression when we talk about production magecraft. Well, it isn't, you know, just plain rice like she was smashing. I'm gonna have fried rice for dinner in a little while, so you know. Cooked up some chicken earlier, used that, got some shrimp, you know, just make some fried rice. Let's go.
まあいいわ。もう一度状況を確認しましょう。
Just felt like, you know, it is fate, so I feel like I'm almost obligated to say what I'm gonna eat at some point.
目下のところ、敵はキャスター。あいつだけなら大したことはないけど、白兵戦に長けたマスターと、あっち側についたアーチャーに守られている限り手は出せないわ。
Yeah, and there's also the possibility of Saber coming in
加
the
えて、
fold.
セイバーが操られるのも時間の問題。状況は刻一刻と悪くなっていくわけだけど。
Yep.
ああ、けど、アーチャーはともかく、セイバーはまだキャスターの自由にはなっていない。それが勝機といえば勝機だろう。
That's still, I think, very optimistic, but
セイ
sure.
バーが完全にキャスターの軍門に下ったら、それこそ俺たちに勝ち目はない。
Besides, I won't let that happen. She told me to run. For the sake of Saber, who said that while crying, I can't let Castor have her way.
そういうことね。それじゃあ意見のある人は挙手。シロ、なんかいいアイデアある？
I mean, I feel like we need allies, and I mean, nobody even knows about the Shiro situation, or not the Shiro, sorry, the Shinji situation. So, I mean, you run down the list, I can only think of one realistic ally to gain, and it would be Berserker. I don't know how we would make this pitch to Iliasville, but the only thing I could think of is aligning with Ilia. A plan that will be a solution to the current situation. If there's a way to oppose Castor, it's... There's no such thing. The only thing is to break through from the front. We can't break through from the front. Is there any secret passage in the church? It's impossible with just the two of us. We'll cooperate with other masters. There aren't opponents that we could take on by ourselves. There are 3 enemies, so we need at least one more person to cooperate with us. In that case, our choices are limited. People who are also mages and have a reason to fight Castor. That is none other than another master.
トサカ、怒らないで聞いてくれ。その、他のマスターとは協力できないかな。
いいわ。その心は？口にするからには何か算段があるんでしょ？
The hell?
いや、そういうわ
What
けじゃ
just
ないんだが。
happened?
今のキャスターの状態は、他のマスターにとっても無視で
Okay,
きないだろう。
I think my headphones might have cut, so I'm just gonna... I don't know, suddenly I just don't have audio. They're still on and fully charged, so I'm gonna just take a second here. Give me a second. Hello, we're back. I did have a headphone issue, but it's resolved. Anyways, as you guys can see, well, not really, but the other masters can't ignore Castor's current situation, right?
なら、今回だけってことで手を組めるかもしれないと思って。
ええ。実は私も同じことを考えてた。てっきりシロを反対すると思ってたから黙ってたんだけどね。
I mean, it's pretty simple. It just seems like the only answer. She says with a reluctant expression. She must not like the idea deep down, but she must know that that's the only option we have.
となると、残るマスターは2人。ランサーのマスターとバーサーカーのマスターね。ランサーのマスターは不明のままだから交渉のしようもないけど、バーサーカーのマスターであるイリアスフィールなら。
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because obviously, yeah, Kirei is theoretically hanging around, but Berserker's master. Yep. And she has been a non-factor after our initial Berserker confrontation. Yep. The girl in white and the rock-like giant I met on the first day. Her actions were dangerous, but I don't think she's cruel.
そうだな。あの子なら話し合いに応じてくれそうだ。見返りに無茶な条件も出してきそうにないし。
We'll see.
バカ。シローにとっちゃあいつが一番ヤバいのよ。あいつ、初めっからシローしか見てなかったもの。私はともかく、あんたはどんな目に遭わされるか分かったもんじゃないわよ。
Trust me, you don't want to know, Ren.
なんだよそれ。俺はあの子と一度しか会ってないんだ。そんなことになるわけないだろう。脅かしっこなしだぞ、父さか。
It's the truth, though.
そんなことになったら交渉なんて破棄に決まってるじゃない。バカ。
Wow. And she looks away, then chugs her tea.
けど今はイリアスフィールにかけるしかないわね。キャスターの正体がアーチャーの言う通りなら間違いなくバーサーカーは天敵だし、何しろ生前の知り合いだもの。キャスターの手口なんて知り尽くしてるでしょ。バーサーカーならキャスターとアーチャーが同時に攻めてきても追い返せる。私たちはその間にクズキ一人を攻略すればいい。
Teaming up with Berserker is crazy, though, I will say.
そりゃ理想論だけど、トサカ、キャスターはバーサーカーと関係があるのか？
I mean, Berserker, that's the thing. Like, Heracles might have known Castor, but that doesn't mean Berserker does, because Berserker, he isn't really him.
アーチャーが言ってたのよ。バーサーカーの正体はヘラクレスだって。
Yep.
キャスターが本当にあの希代の魔女なら、アルゴー戦つながりでバーサーカーとは面識があるかもしれない。
The Argo Expedition.
私が綺麗に苦手意識を持つのと同じ。世の中にはね、どうしたって苦手なやつっているもんなのよ。
Hmm. Huh. But Tosaka, I'm sure anyone would dislike that priest.
じゃ
Fair.
あ決まりだな。けど、どうやってあの子を見つけようか。あれ以来出てこないけど、あれだけの魔力を持ってるなら、隠れていようと見つけ出せるだろ。なのに見つからないってことは、この町にはいないってことじゃないのか。
That's kind of true, assuming she's hanging out at the mansion.
でしょうね。イリアスフィールはずっと遠くから聖杯戦争を眺めて楽しんでるんでしょう。
Yep.
ずっと遠く？キャスターみたいに竜道寺から町を監視してるのか？
Hmm.
さあ、けどどこにいるかは見当がつく。
Sure.
昔父さんから聞いたこと
The
があ
Von
るのよ。
Einsberg.
アイン
Yep.
ツベルンは
Mhm.
郊外の森に別荘を持ってるって。
Yep. She says with a tense voice, a villa that stands in the forest on the outskirts? I can tell how dangerous the place is just from the way Tosaka is acting. Yeah, we're finally coming to the end of the day. I go back to my room and lie down. Sleepiness spreads to my whole body as soon as I do. I stare at the dark ceiling. We are going to Iliasville, that girl in white's hideout tomorrow. No matter what kind of negotiations take place, it's obvious they'll become a trial of strength. Tosaka suggested that we take a nap before we head over, since we won't be able to achieve good results if we go with tired bodies.
夜明けまであと5時間。そうなったら、あの子と話し合いをしなくちゃならない。
Seems like a plan to me. The young master that appeared in front of us on the night I became a master. If Saber is an excellent servant in all aspects, then Berserker is specialized when it comes to battle. There's no servant that can match Berserkers simply in terms of battle.
そんな相手と、どう話し合えばいい？
Honestly. Saying it makes me believe that it's impossible to negotiate with them. However, strangely, I don't feel any uneasiness. I feel like that Ilya kid will understand if we talk to her. Just like Tosaka, I'm sure she can differentiate her enemies and allies as a mage, but I feel like she's a decent kid in a different regard.
まったく、まだ話したこともないくせに、希望的観測にも程がある。
I bet she would flame me, saying that it's a convenient fantasy, maybe just a little bit. But what's wrong with believing that? Is it weird to have hope for someone who you don't know and are about to meet? What was that? I realize that I'm gritting my teeth. Oh, okay. The man that told me to drown in my ideals betrayed Tosaka in front of my eyes. A guy with that much trust and power changed his beliefs that easily? I don't know if you guys are reading that right. I feel my heart start to sink. No, is it freezing? My mind freezes just thinking back at his actions. I'm angry. I can't forgive him for betraying Tosaka out of all people. I can't forgive him for abandoning his ally out of all people. I will never be like that. Even if that had been the very best action to survive and it ends up being the correct path, I will never do something like that. And that's the idealistic nature of Emiya. His actions have been getting on my nerves. He told me to talk about ideals. I rebelled against him when he said that I can't save everything. Even then, I agreed somewhere in my heart. His words are correct. The hero of justice that my old man talked about was just a pipe dream. and I accepted the fact that I have to become like him if I wanted to get as close to that ideal as possible. I've been denying it, even though I had accepted it in my mind. But this time isn't that kind of a level. I can't accept him. I can't accept the action that he took, no matter the circumstances. I won't be able to keep standing if I approve of it. Yeah. Yeah, it's a clash of ideals. My words don't disperse into the night and remain in the room. A few more hours until dawn. I keep repeating those words in my mud-like slumber. And that, I believe, will do it, unless we get an interlude. Nope, that will do it. Yep, so I will just overwrite this save I had to make because of the little sound issue I had near the end there. And what is going to be the title for February 12th versus hype, 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 hype. And there's an interlude to start. Hype! But, like I said, I need to get out of here as fast as possible. Get me out of here. Please get me out of here. Thank you. Okay. That was episode 26 of Fate Stay Night. And like I said, I believe episode 8 of Unlimited Blade Works. Oh, man. What an episode. An amazing confrontation with Caster that involved Archer now joining her side. So now Caster is the master of Archer, Assassin, and Saber, while also, of course, being Kazuki's master. Which, like I said, really only leaves us with the mystery with Lancer and Kirei and all that nonsense. Ilya and Berserker, who is largely just, you know, stayed out of the events of this iteration of the Holy Grail War. And then the thing that no one knows about, which is, of course, Gilgamesh and Shiro. I keep saying Shiro, Shinji. Gilgamesh and Shinji. But, yeah, again, another just fantastic episode of Fate. This Unlimited Blade Works is so freaking good. Like, just the narrative, the twists and turns, the winds, are so interesting. I have no idea where this is going. I feel like there's just... I didn't know really what to expect going into Unlimited Blade Works, obviously, other than, you know, again, Rin and Archer stuff, and presumably learning Archer's, like, true name and all that stuff, but so much has happened, and it's gone in directions that I never could have imagined, and it's just been such a crazy roller coaster ride, such a crazy journey. And that's the other crazy thing is I still don't know how long we have to go. We still might have so much more of this route left to explore, and I can't wait to explore it because it has been such a crazy joyride and such a entertaining journey that I've been enjoying so much. Like I said, I definitely, again, the strongest part of the Fate route was the ending, so I definitely think that it's hard for me to say that this route is definitively better, but I will say that I think overall, like, comparing it to this part in the story in the Fate route, I'm definitely would say that Unlimited Blade Works has been better than Fate. But I definitely think, like I said, I want to reserve a final judgment on that until we actually finish Unlimited Blade Works. Because, like I said, the one thing Unlimited Blade Works has going for me is just how much it emotionally resonated with me, Fate had going for it is how much it emotionally resonated with me, especially towards the end of the first route. So that's obviously, I think, the one thing that, while there have been a lot of moments that have really touched me, I don't really think there's been any... I haven't gotten to the emotional resonance I had for the first route, and that's obviously the biggest advantage that the Fate route has over UBW up to this point. But obviously, I fully expect the ending of Unlimited Blade Works to be incredibly emotional and likely hit me in a similar way. But I just think, like, this route has been so intriguing, so interesting, so entertaining, and I've been enjoying it so much. I'm having so much fun playing Fate with you guys, and I just can't wait to continue on this journey, just one episode after another. It just keeps getting more and more interesting, more and more exciting, and I can't wait to dive deeper and deeper into Unlimited Blade Works. And that's obviously what we're going to get to in the next video when we do presumably another day. Like I said, for the most part, I think just doing a day ends up being a really good episode for the most part, but obviously there have been a few exceptions. But we are kind of back to the norm here, just, you know, covering this awesome day that was day 12, Moonlight 2 of Fate's Stay Night here. And yeah, like I said, I can't wait to see what comes next. I'm really excited for more Fate. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So yeah, if you guys want to support the channel, Patreon's down below in the description. You guys know the drill there. But yeah, like I said, I don't really have too much to, like I said, extrapolate on here at the end. This is one of the good things about the Let's Plays is for the most part, because I'm able to get so much discussion in because I'm able to control the pace of the game that I don't usually have long outros because I for the most part, I get to say everything I want to say over the course of actually playing the game. Sometimes I still have long outros when I just want to gush even further about things. But I feel like I've gotten better and better over time at least with the LPs of just, you know, because I'm controlling the pace on like a visual novel and stuff, getting out pretty much all of my thoughts over the course of the episode and actually, you know, shortening up these outros a little bit. But anyways, without any further ado, I must bid you adieu. Flamin' Shark signing out. Hope you have a wonderful, fantastical day, and I'll see you next time with another video. Thanks for watching. Peace.